Hey, everybody, you are here live with my Realtor Dream Team right here in the Near Disney YouTube studio. And we have got a lot to talk to you about. But before we start, I wanted to give you the little intro for this amazing team. Here you go. That's right, Near Disney. Here we go. We have got the Prince of Real Estate, Elijah Lewis.
Happy to be on the show as always.
We have got Cinderella, Virginia
Hey
Carlson.
Hey everyone, happy to be here.
And we've got Sue Koptiev. She is known as Aurora. She never sleeps, though. That's the sleeping princess.
Hey, thanks for joining us tonight, everybody.
So normally you'll see my Realtor Dream Team every Wednesday night. I love their show. And so tonight, because of what's going on with the weather and everything, I thought I just wanted to pop in, have a good conversation with them. I'll also make sure that they're nice and secure in their homes, nice and warm and not out in this rain. But probably 1 out of 10 clients that I've worked with over the course of the last, 30 years, whatever, will ask a question about hurricanes. And so why not have the experts here in the studio talk about what it's really like. Now, I want to talk about what it's like with regard to what we are experiencing right now. So this is September 25th, 2024. Now, this is going to be evergreen and people are going to see this 10 years from now. And so we're only talking about how it applies to what we are seeing in Central Florida, because you guys know our office, we actually have an office that is on the Disney area. It's in the town of Celebration, Florida. Our office is right there. So think Disney, think within 25-mile radius around Cinderella's castle. That's right. She's right here. That's where our area of expertise lies. So any initial thought, you guys, on what you would tell America about what it's like to be prepping for a hurricane?
So thankfully we're in Central Florida. So the hurricanes tend to affect us a little bit differently than along the coast. But nonetheless, we have to prepare for them. I guess some things I like to do personally, I'd like to take all like cushions and things from the back porch and front porch inside, just, as a preparation, make sure all like the bikes and trash cans and things that are just kind of, you leave outside a lot of the time, and just make sure everything is kind of safe and secure inside the home.
Yeah, that's a good point. And when you guys say too, I think, Sue, you might be able to talk a little bit about this too, being from the West Coast versus the East Coast, in that we have several days notice before a hurricane comes up, which a lot of times West Coast, earthquakes and that type of thing, you don't really get a lot of notice, right?
Sue, you've got your mic.
You are muted right now, so we need to unmute you. There you go.
I'm unmuted. Yes, actually, you don't get any warning whatsoever. And you'll be standing there working, doing dishes, walking down the street, and all of a sudden everything is moving. And so I grew up in Southern California, so I've lived through quite a few major earthquakes. And then I did live in Alabama for a short period of time and experienced tornadoes firsthand. And I now live here, and I will tell you that I will take this weather condition and the storms we have here over either one of those any day of the week. Yeah, absolutely.
We are happy to be inland, as
Yes.
they call it. So even if it's kind of forecasted as a higher category of hurricane, what we sometimes will often see is that it will lessen as it gets nearer to Disney, nearer to Central Florida, and the nights, we do hanker in. The communities do the safe thing by adjusting school schedules accordingly and all that. Yeah. But we're blessed to be in a place where it usually kind of breaks up a bit, like by the time it gets to our area.
Well, and it's always better to be over prepared than under prepared, right? For anything. Not just weather conditions.
We'll just talk a little bit about how to prepare.
Yeah, you know what? We always say, if you start seeing this guy show up, His name is, right? We all
Yeah.
kind of giggle about it. This guy's name is Jim Cantor, and he's with the Weather Channel. And we're always, we pay attention to the Weather Channel. But if he shows up at your airport, that means that that's where they're expecting the eye of the hurricane to land. And as of right now, I think the sighting Wednesday morning, this morning, was Pasco County. Now, Pasco County, you guys, as we know, is kind of Zephyr Hills area
Mm.
and Newport Richey and that type of thing. So, yeah. So Jim Cantor.
Yeah.
Infamous around these parts.
Yeah. So here we know a couple of days in advance things are going on, and then you think your loved ones immediately, right? So as a mama, Cinderella, I'm going to ask you this question. What do the kids think about hurricanes and what's going on there?
Yeah, they're not. I mean, my children are older. They're not really that worried about it. They're more excited that they have school off, and the school did a good job of letting us know they're just taking precautions. They let us know a couple days ago that they were going to miss school tomorrow, and then they had Friday off anyway, and so they're like, yeah, we get a 4-day weekend, so they're not really that worried about it. And they've been through hurricanes before, and it's just been really loud, and just they can hear the wind outside and stuff, but nothing major, thankfully, in the time I've lived here. And also, I know we were talking about how Celebration is a unique place where we are, because all of our power lines are underground, so it's very rare that we would lose power during a storm.
Right.
So we're thankful for that.
I love that. That was actually a Walt Disney idea. Many. For those of you who haven't watched our Near Disney videos, this team in particular, we have over 600 videos. Some of them are talking about what Walt had instilled into the engineers' minds way early on, of which putting power lines underground, because
Right.
you don't want to have a theme park as well that goes out of power, right? And so speaking of theme parks, I think you had mentioned it might be a good idea to talk about what happens with theme parks right now in our area.
Yeah, I mean, they gave us some notice as well for people who are planning their days, planning their vacations. I like how Virginia said the school districts didn't really take it lightly. They gave people a lot of notice. I came here from Nebraska personally, so I know that there'd be mornings where my parents were just listening very closely to the radio on the morning of school to see, is there going to be a snow day today when there is a blizzard? It's 80 degrees and nice right now in Florida, so there's not much worry about that. But so as far as our attractions like Disney World, Universal, SeaWorld, Busch Gardens and stuff, it's just it always depends on the storm. But they have said that Typhoon Lagoons Water Park and Theme Park miniature golf courses are closed tomorrow, the 26th of September. Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party has also been put on hold for the 26th, so that's canceled as a seasonal event that's happening throughout the month. Just don't plan on it for Thursday the 26th as of now. And but Magic Kingdom extending hours to 8 p.m., 2 additional hours tomorrow. So not so much about the Not So Scary, but it looks like stay tuned, kind of double check in about Magic Kingdom. But it seems like maybe they may still be operational.
And don't you know that Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios, it's still going on.
It makes it even more scary.
That's right.
Yeah,
Real life scary.
the adrenaline, a chainsaw in a hurricane.
Hey, I want to expand on what Kim, what you were saying about the underground power lines, because that has taken, there's a ripple effect, obviously, throughout this area, with that starting maybe in Celebration. I was not here then, but most of the newer communities, all the power lines, everything is underground. And so if you're looking at moving here, be assured that there is, more than enough to choose from, where, you feel like if that's a big thing for you, if you don't want power lines above the ground, there's a lot going on here that you don't have to worry about that. So
that's a great idea.
Legoland hasn't decided yet. It looks like Busch Gardens closed tomorrow. But hey, just like I said, just kind of definitely double check. But not everything is closed, but some things have adjusted their schedule.
right.
Yeah.
We have one of our viewers sending a comment saying it used to be that we got off from working when the schools or parks are closed, but now with Zoom, we have to continue to work.
Work from home, that's the one downside.
Unless you lose power.
Unless
yeah.
you lose your internet. Yeah.
There you go, or just internet. Yeah.
Right.
So we
You guys
encourage
have
all the
power.
watchers, please, continue to contribute, because we're going to start talking about some things that we do, but obviously this show is for you guys. We'd love to hear, pets. You have to think about pets. As many of you that have watched our storyline, my father passed away recently, and we have now got Missy Elliott in the house. They innocently called their Boston Terrier Missy Elliott, like the rapper. And so, she needs to be walked. And then when the weather starts getting a little crazy and, the wind is whipping around and stuff, dogs don't want to go outside. Yeah. So these little puppy trainer pads, I found that it was important for me to have these just in case if it's really raining for a full day and you don't want your pet to go outside. It's maybe something for you to have online. And then we all kind of laugh about how you would think we're the healthiest people in the world, drinking lots and lots of water. But we do find a couple of days before a hurricane sets in, I swear that's the one thing people are trying to grab off of the shelves as if they drink this all the time, right?
Yes, bottled water is a good thing to have for emergency situations.
Yeah. And then for my team, because when they're over here on the host team, I'm like, I don't think water is really the thing anymore. I think you got to have these special cool, right, guys? Is this what you guys?
You got to be civilized, like sparkle water.
Always. Always.
That's good.
So I make sure I get that at the grocery store. And then as far as like some snacks and stuff, so I'll start with some of mine and then you guys will pipe in. But I'm really into now these gluten-free crackers. Not that they're sponsors or anything. A little Boursin spread cheese. So if we're going to go through a storm, right? Cinderella, maybe I should get some of your all's wine, sit back and just chill out and realize it's going to happen. So you might as well relax and enjoy it. Right?
Enjoy it.
I love the Thunder and Lightning, and just adding the cheese and crackers. Hey, I can be over there before the storm hits, Kim. It's not
well, I've got plenty. You know me.
The room.
You're always welcome.
Put a sleeping bag in the studio.
Yeah.
And let us know in the chat if you've got a favorite comfort food for weathering out the storms, or something you got to stock up on to keep things relaxed and casual while it gets a little noisy.
What would you guys like? What would you eat? What's your comfort food? I'm interested in that.
It's easier to tell you what my comfort foods are not. I have a list.
Yeah.
Picky eater, huh? I like to grab those kind of like Chex Mix, Muddy Buddies things. Those are good. It's like Chex, chocolate, peanut butter, powdered sugar, mix it all together, and you got a lot of all the flavors that come together that are good.
I make that from scratch, Elijah. I'll have to make some for you soon.
Well, please.
It's much better.
Yeah.
Oh, much better than store-bought. I can imagine.
Well, I'm definitely with you, Kim, with the cheese and crackers. That's one of my most favorite things to snack on. And then I would also have to add some red wine, because red wine doesn't need to be refrigerated. So it's always good. You just don't have to worry about it. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. One of the points that came up, if somebody's power, because, honestly, we are in Celebration. We are very blessed. The power lines are underground, but we also represent Central Florida. And so, Kissimmee, when a hurricane came through many, many, many moons ago, they did lose a lot of power. So let's talk about some tips on in case your refrigerator goes down. Anybody have any ideas?
Well, I would suggest having a cooler beforehand, and going to the store and filling it with ice, and just so that you have a backup for things that are perishable that might have just be something that you want to keep on hand that you would mind
If
going
there's
back.
lapse in power for a day or two. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A cooler.
Washing
And I'm sure
machine.
everybody has a cooler. Most people have a cooler because it's in the garage. You take it to a picnic or the beach or something. So it's an easy thing that you probably already have. So you just fill it with ice.
Yeah. Sue, I was starting to hear you say something about a washing machine.
Washing machine's full of ice.
Oh,
Ah,
right.
Great
That's
refrigerator. And you can, and whether it's a front loader or a top loader, it doesn't matter. Obviously, you can put more ice in the top loader, but a front loader works just fine.
Well, if you think about it, a lot of times people are concerned about the stuff that's in the freezer. So why not go ahead and take your stuff in the freezer, put it in your washing machine, because if it starts to melt or whatever,
Yeah.
that apparatus is used to water going through its system, right?
Right. That's a good point.
Yeah. The other thing you can do is if if they're projecting that your area will lose power for more than a few hours, up to several days. The other thing you can do is turn your refrigerator and your freezer down as low as they'll go now.
Yeah.
But then just obviously pay attention. You don't want your freezer at, 50 below zero, for a week or more. But if the power doesn't go out, because that obviously will ruin your food, but that will definitely help. And then again, opening the doors as little as possible, if you're, we're Americans, we stand in front of the refrigerator with the doors open going, what do I want? You have to look at your refrigerator mind and say, "Ooh, that is in the back right corner on the top shelf. I can grab it really quick."
But Sue, we see, but this is modern day. We once helped people sell a house by getting them a robo fridge, they have apps where you can actually look at what's inside your fridge on your phone without having to open the door.
Hey, my refrigerator is less than a year old. I just did not go for that option, but my daughter has it. It makes a great. I think when you shop, it really helps.
Elijah, that's such a good point, though. Talking about, because we do talk about real estate a lot, because that's what this is what the telephone numbers go to. These are my experts in the field. But when inventory was really, a lot of inventory was on the market, because this was a great house and it just wasn't moving. Don't you know that robo refrigerator going into that house all of a sudden just made all the difference, right, Elijah? And it was like we had 2 or 3 offers right away.
Yeah,
Nice.
because it was just a high inventory market, and everybody kind of, everyone's just kind of see, oh yeah, stainless steel appliances, so everyone's got those, but nobody else had the Robo smart fridge with the screens and the touchpad, and you get the kids all excited about it. And what I love, like kids can make or break a showing sometimes, because they're either like loving everything and running and saying, "This is my room," and I love it, or sometimes they aren't in the zone as much. But Robo fridge wins over the whole family.
Robo fridge. Well, for many of you that saw when we just renovated a house, and so I got music coming through showers and stuff now. So there's all kinds of stuff that you can do to a house that will entertain children in particular as you're showing them.
Yeah.
So if you sing in the shower, now you can have musical accompaniment.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about Sue. I think, you had sent an article, Duke Energy, for a lot of you out there. If you're going to be getting electric, most places do have electric through Duke. They actually put something together. It says, here's some things that you want to look at before a storm. So let's share that, because I think it was helpful information. Hold on one second as I pop it up for you here. There we go. All right.
So one of the biggest things is your emergency kit, and it's actually not that difficult to put one together. There are quite a few companies where you can pre-order them. We have 2 really large kits in one of our closets, on an outer closet, close to like an entrance or a wall where we can get to it, in the worst of situations. But had them in California too. But they have, it's like 5, 7, 10 days worth of food per person, and they last for a really long time. And the food is actually pretty decent, believe it or not. It's kind of like similar to astronaut food, that kind of thing. But if you want to just make your own at home, you can see this list right here, your non-perishable foods, a manual can opener. That's something a lot of us don't think about. And for Virginia and Kim, with your wine, make sure that you have a manual wine bottle opener.
Thank you.
I'm
Yes.
just teasing because
Yeah.
most of them that aren't run on batteries. So I'm just teasing you. You know, disposable plates, cups, utensils, very important. A first aid kit,
Mhm.
flashlights, and batteries. So flashlights, batteries. That's kind of one of the biggest things. And a few gallons, at least 5 gallons of water per person. Rubber boots and sturdy shoes. If you're wanting to go, you know, trucking out into the aftermath to see, you know, what your neighborhood looks like. That's always kind of fun. Usually it's like a
Yeah.
few, you know, palm tree branches on the ground. Your medications, that is really important. Anything for your pet that you're going to need over 3 to 5 days, and cell phones and chargers. And again, those chargers, the chargers that you can actually plug in and fuel up, those are actually really inexpensive now. They used to be very expensive, but you know, you can get them pretty much anywhere for sometimes $10 or less. A clock that runs on batteries, and baby supplies. If you've got an infant or a toddler at home, like you guys were talking about, snacks and stuff for the kids, and you know, diapers, anything that you would need over just, you know, that period of time. It's funny to think about all the things that you think you know everything that you might need over that period of time, but some of our lives are so you know, we just do it every day. It's so repetitive that you don't think about things anymore. So it's just it's nice to have a list like this. It's
Mhm.
also great leading up to any storm like this to listen to a local radio station, because they will, a lot of them interject these little tips and stuff in between songs, and definitely keep you updated on what the storms are doing. So
Yes, very good. I think that was that's a good report with a lot of good stuff. And you know, as long as you still have internet and everything, I have found that I remember years where maybe the storm came a little close and it was, you know, 2 o'clock in the morning when it was going to pass through. I remember a bunch of girlfriends and I were on like a Facebook group or something. We created a little Facebook group, and it would just be like, "Hey, what are you doing right now?" Or are the kids anxious? Or, and you know what happened? It was everybody else is asleep except for me right now.
Well, it was good of you to check in on them. I think another thing I would add to that list, because this being Florida, I have a couple in my house, battery powered fans in case your AC goes out, because it does, even though it's like windy and rainy out, it can still be really hot. It's, you know, today it's kind of muggy and hot outside. So battery powered fans are really helpful and convenient to have. And they're like, they're not that big. They're like this big. So they have a handle, you can pick them up and move them room to room, wherever you go in your house or wherever you are. So that's a good thing to have on hand.
That's a great idea. And, you know, I think, I don't know that we mentioned it yet. I think we talked about it right before we all got online, but filling a bathtub. Sometimes people will say, why do you fill a bathtub full of water? Have you guys heard why? And there's a reason why. It's because if somebody needs to flush a toilet, something goes wrong, you just take a bucket of water, and if you just immediately throw it in the toilet, it will force it to flush. Right? Yeah. Little tricks of the trade after all these years of stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sanitary.
Yes, exactly. So a couple other things: don't park underneath of a tree, right? If you can, try to park in a garage, or if you can't park in a garage, drive a little bit a ways, because if it's anything, it's probably going to be the wind that's whipping around and maybe a tree branch comes down. Sue, you sound a lot like my husband Rod, where he likes to sit out and watch the storms and the rain and the lightning and stuff. They recommend you don't do that.
I know I wouldn't do it in a hurricane, but just our general lightning storms are so fascinating to me. They're just amazing.
Yeah. And then, you know what's so beautiful? I want to give a shout out. There's like Shell Heart. I know for a fact that if a tree fell on somebody's car, or whatever, there's always that wonderful neighbor of people that get together and they have these chainsaws and stuff, and they'll take that tree apart bit by bit. And so what'll happen is a couple of days after a hurricane, you start hearing all these heroic stories of where people will, I remember one year in particular, everybody was making sure people had pizzas or whatever, that they were all fed and stuff. And so the hurricane completely missed us, but we had enough pizza for like a week for everybody. And we were going out to the community and saying, please take pizza, please take pizza. Yeah. Anything else you guys think we're missing, or?
I don't know. I just think the best advice is, because we're fortunate enough to know it far enough in advance, that the best advice is just, be your preparedness. And like Sue said, the kits, and just kind of walking around your house and making sure you have the things that you might take for granted, but you just want to make sure that those things are in place and ready to access easily.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I can share too, like Elijah today, as realtors, if you have your house listed for sale, many times you want to talk to your realtor about, hey, can you pull that for sale sign up, or that type of thing. And I remember one year, Elijah in particular, I want to say you and I were out and about with houses when the wind really was whipping up, because people were out of town, so they knew that they could call and we would move some furniture inside, or, that type of stuff.
Right.
Yeah. So in Celebration in particular, they have these very iconic, heavy wooden signs that get staked out in a yard, and you just would hate for that to get wobbled the wrong way and picked up into some place that shouldn't be in a draft. So I did make the rounds and put our marketing, down a notch for a bit as far as curbside goes, but we'll be back to full marketing promotional force once this is over with.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So speaking of real estate, we promised, and as you guys are going to be watching this video, Cinderella has a listing that I want to show you guys, because I know it's one of the favorite things you guys say about Wednesday nights is when you're showing. I think people just love to see the inside of homes, right? And they love to see that. So we don't want to disappoint. We wanted to make sure we share one of those with you. But at the end of this video, if you guys have any questions at all about hurricanes or anything that we have missed, I'm going to be watching the comments, and we will be back after this video to answer any of your all's questions. So thank you to Dee Bellavati, right?
Yeah.
Virginia?
Yes, you did a great job. And I took the sign down. So, it'll go back up on Thursday or Friday or Saturday. So.
Excellent. All right, here we go. Let's see. Whoops.
Make sure that you subscribe and like so that we can.
Sorry, wrong one. Stick around.
Very nice.
Beautiful.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
Very nice. Anything else you want us to know about that house?
Yeah, that's so that house is on Maiden Terrace, which is in South Village of Celebration, which is actually my neighborhood. So it's a few streets over from me, and we love it here. It's a great place. It's still really close to downtown, and as you saw in the video, Spring Park. And a cool thing about Spring Park is about 2 weeks ago they just redid and reopened the entire playground, which is the largest playground in Celebration, and it's really great. The kids love it, and it's from that house it would be maybe a 2-minute walk. It's super close, and it's great for kids with the pool, and it's shaded. It's a nice shaded playground, which is a good thing to have here, because some of the playgrounds have too much sun sometimes, but this one is really great. So and this house also, it backs to conservation, and it's on a really nice street, and at the holidays everyone decorates for Halloween and Christmas. And I'm actually going to go take my daughter for a walk after this a little bit and see if there are any Halloween decorations up yet. So anyway, it's a great location, so if you want more information, please don't hesitate to call.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. There's her number. You know what I love too? That was a floor plan that was expanded. So there's
Right.
no other house like it in Celebration
It's
at
true.
all.
Yeah, and the addition is just this really enormous living room, whatever you want to make it. It's like a great room, and it's a really nice addition to the floor plan.
Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
You know, while we were doing this, Elijah sent me this really cute. Let me share this with you, because I think it speaks to what's going on now. Let's see if we can find it. Look at that.
Oh yeah.
Winnie the Pooh and the blustery day. Which hopefully we won't quite get it as bad as Piglet, but
Yeah. Right.
at least he's got friends to keep him grounded, huh?
That's right.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right. Well, guys,
That actually happened to my grandson on a cruise ship. Fortunately, one of the family members grabbed him. We were on the top deck. Yeah, it was a little crazy. So
oh, my heart would have stopped at
yeah, we did. I mean, it was. So this is much nicer to look at because Pooh is right there and he's grabbing him.
Yeah, silly old bear.
Yeah.
That's right.
Willy-nilly, silly old bear.
Well, we're getting lots of wonderful comments of people saying how much they appreciate your all's tips, and it sounds like nothing to worry about is what people are saying. And I would say, yeah, I would just say, yeah, just kind of spend some time inside. People that are wanting to fly, and a couple of comments, one person did ask, how does it affect cruise ships? Because, we've been talking about how close we are to go to cruise ships and everything. So I would double check if I were you, if a cruise is going to go out. If it is not going out, realize Celebration, this area, we have some wonderful hotels, the Malaya. You can actually just redo your vacation if you want. Give us a call and say hi, saying I'm staying in town now instead of heading out to the Bahamas or wherever it's going. But when the weather is nice, yes, it absolutely is super easy to get over to Port Canaveral, or even get on the Brightline if you wanted to, and go all the way down to Miami to grab a cruise ship there. But for right now, we would say we're just going to hunker down in this really cool town that Disney built, and enjoy it, and be in that 25-mile radius around Cinderella's castle. And it sounds like maybe we'll be going to Halloween Horror Nights. I don't know. Something. Any last comments, you guys, to anybody, other than everybody's just saying they're sending lots of love and thank you for everything that you guys do, is what I'm saying here.
Nice.
Thank you. Thank
Happy
you,
to
everybody.
Happy
for
to have
watching.
you on the Wednesday show as well, Kim. That's
I know,
fun.
what a treat.
Yes.
Get me to stream from home for the night, and it's just so great to have the Fairy Godmother Real Estate on the stream for Wednesday.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I'm very proud of my team and wanted to make sure you guys were nice and dry. And so that's why I wanted to do it. But otherwise, you guys make sure you watch them every Wednesday night. They are amazing. I learned so much from them. Fridays, we do an evergreen show. Actually, I think this Friday, Sue, we might be doing one that you're included in. 55 plus community, I believe, is something that might be on the works. And then on Monday nights, we do a show specifically for the town of Celebration because we have so many requests for this particular town. We just kind of tell you what's going on for the upcoming week. But otherwise, I think we got it covered. And give your families a big hug and big kisses from me. And we will see each other real soon. Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right.
Right.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Make sure that you subscribe and like so that we can continue to give you up-to-date information on all things that are going around the 25-mile radius of Cinderella's Castle, because this is truly a magical place to live.